Hey everyone, welcome back to another co-op video. The team over at Stunlock Studios have blessed us with yet another update for their early access hit, V-Rising. Now, V-Rising launched back in 2022 to Steam Early Access and is fully launched back in 2024. We were some of the first to enjoy their new PvEVP survival game where you play as a vampire awakened after 100 years. You're set loose upon the world, hungry for blood and with the drive to dominate and become the reigning vampire. V-Rising has an isometric perspective, but utilizes fast-paced action combat. Players can use a variety of different weapons, swords, claws, bows, and daggers to name a few. In classic vampiric fashion, the action combat is complemented by a slew of magical skills that, along with the weapon skills, can help open up the build crafting potential with a variety of playstyle options. V-Rising's basic gameplay loop has players heading out to take on the land's hardest foes, then returning to your castle where you can use recipes and resources to become stronger. V-Rising is 100% one of our favorite games to come out in the recent years, so we could not wait to jump back in for the Invaders of Oakveil update. There's a lot to unpack, so let's get started.
First up, let's talk about the new biome called Oakveil. It is a corrupted forest, but it differs a little bit from the other forests already in the game in that it is a little less dense and it is corrupted. So corruption in this game is purple, and therefore there's going to be a lot of sections that are very heavily purple in color. Now once you get this debuff, the vile corruption, this is going to limit your ability to heal. And it can stack up to 10 times. So obviously the more corruption you get, the less you are able to heal. Now let's talk about the new enemy type, the Venomblades. And they are servants of the Serpent Queen Megara. They have a corrupted damage type, and some, but not all, will have the corrupted blood type, which is a new blood type in the game. You will be able to capture them and take their blood in vials and consume it just like the other blood types. Now this corrupted blood type is going to have a lot of trade-offs. There are going to be pros and cons with this. So one such thing would be that you can gain damage reduction from corrupted attacks, but then you're going to take more damage from other sources. The next tier would be reducing the amount of vile corruption you suffer, but then you have more blood drain. The next tier increases movement speed and attack speed, but then there's a chance to inflict snare. And then finally, your spell and weapon charge gain is increased, but there's a chance to spawn a shadow that will attack you when using an ability. We did try out this blood type, and we personally saw that shadow pop up frequently, so you have to be really careful when you are using this blood type. Again, like I said, it has both pros and cons, so you have to change up your gameplay in order to really utilize this blood type.
Next up, let's talk about the three new weapons. We have the Twin Blades, the Daggers, and the Claws. The Twin Blades, this is a slower weapon, it's two-handed, it'll actually hit twice per each primary swing. With its second skill, it can be thrown, and if you hit that button again, you actually will dash towards that weapon. If you wait a second though and don't hit that button, the blade will actually be recalled to the user, and it'll hit enemies and pull them actually towards you while doing so. The third skill will actually lift an enemy up into the air and over your head to reposition them. With the daggers, they're actually a short-range throwable instead of a melee weapon. With the primary attack, it can actually throw up to 4 daggers at a time. The second skill is a short-ranged ability. You jump into the air and throw a fan of daggers out in front of you. The third skill actually is a recall skill. So each time that you throw daggers, they'll actually stay on the ground for a decent amount of time. And that third skill will actually recall those daggers back to the player, and then it'll hit enemies on the way and do damage that way. Lastly, the Claws. They're actually very similar to the slashers from the base game, but they hit a bit slower. They actually provide a new mechanic called Puncture, which actually applies a stacking debuff to all enemies hit. The primary attack will hit for 3 attacks before starting the chain over. The second skill actually dash forward and swipe enemies in front of you. And the third skill, the player can jump through the air and land on enemies. This applies that puncture debuff and stuns enemies for a short period of time. There are 6 new spells available, one for each of the schools of magic. The Carrion Swarm for blood magic, Reign of Chaos for chaos magic, Curse for illusion magic, Unholy Chains for unholy magic, Arctic Storm for frost magic, and Lightning Tendrils for storm magic. So if you're already used to playing V-Rising, bosses are pretty much the big part about the game, and Oakveil offers 7 new bosses here. Sir Erwin the Gallant Cavalier, Gaius the Cursed Champion, Stavos the Carver, Jakira the Shadow Huntress, Lucille the Venom Alchemist, Dantos the Forge Binder, and Megara the Serpent Queen. Now Megara is the final boss for this DLC, and she has a awesomely designed arena. It's very large. She boasts a lot of old school kind of boss mechanics from games of yesteryear. She's got multiple phases, and the fight is immensely chaotic. Okay, now let's talk about weapon coatings. Coatings are buffs specific to individual weapons. These go directly onto your weapon, so if you swap to a different weapon, you'll lose access to the bonuses for that particular coating. Now, you can apply a different or the same coating to different weapons. So if you use multiple weapons on the regular, you can just apply whatever coating that you'd like to for each of those weapons, and every time you swap to that new weapon, you'll have that coating that you applied there. All the coatings use the same 2 new materials, which can be found in the new area, the Oakveil Woodlands. There's a coating from each school of magic that provides buffs or debuffs utilizing the keywords from each school, as well as some potential additions. So for example, blood coating from blood magic will deal magic damage while applying leech and vampiric curse, and can spawn a blood orb. Storm coating adds magic damage to your primary weapon attack and causes chain lightning. Alright, let's move on to elixirs. These are new drinkable buffs, similar to potions, but with the big difference being that you can only have 1 elixir equipped at a time. And you can have elixirs equipped as well as potions. The beast will increase your max health and provide an increase to healing received. The Blasphemous deals with your alt cooldown rate and will increase your alt power. The Prowler gives bonus movement speed and bonus veil cooldown rate. The Crow deals with weapon cooldown and weapon leech. The Raven gives bonuses to physical crit chance and power. The Bat deals with spell leech and spell cooldown. Twisted deals with spell crit chance and spell crit power. And Werewolf increases the attack speed and weapon skill power.
So next up, we have a rework of the Spell School Mastery system. So they added some extra passives based around each new spell school. And basically the way it works is that the more spells that you unlock in each mastery section will unlock additional bonuses. So then, essentially, once you have unlocked all of these spells in that category, you will unlock all of the passives available. So one of my favorite updates is the addition of the Treasury. Now these are floors that, as long as you make a room that is fully encompassing these floors, any chest located in this room you will be able to pull from when you are at a crafting station. As well as building, which is really nice because you don't have to go in and manually pull things out, hold them in your inventory, go to your crafting station, or in my case, I really like building. I don't have to continually pull out more stone bricks and more planks and then keep trying to build that way. As long as it's in that room and on that floor, it will automatically come out of the treasury. That was a really nice quality of life update. Next up, we have the Fusion Forge, which allows you to combine stats from different ancestral or shattered weapons as well as jewels. So this was really great because the first time we played, we would get a lot of shattered weapons and we were taking a long time trying to figure out exactly which one we want to upgrade, but now you can combine them together. So if you find one weapon that has one set of stats on it that you like, but then you get another weapon and you're like, well, I kind of like the stats on this one too, you can actually combine them together and pick and choose which stats you like. And that works on jewels as well, which if you recall, jewels are what you add to your spells to make them more powerful. Another awesome addition is the horse stables. So before in the game, you had to feed your horses plant fiber in order to keep them alive. Now with the addition of the horse stables, you can park your horses in there and it will automatically feed them so that you don't have to continue to put plant fiber in their inventory. But even better than that is the ability to feed flowers to upgrade stats. So horses have stats in speed, acceleration, and rotation speed. Now we spent a lot of time in previous builds of the game trying to find horses with the best stats. We were never able to find one with the perfect highest max speed, acceleration, and rotation speed, so we would try to come as close as possible. Now we don't have to do that. You can go and pick up any horse, put it in the stable, and you can feed it flowers to increase those stats until it is maxed out in all 3 categories. Now, something else that's new to the horse stables is the ability to feed elixirs to your mounts and give them new abilities. This is specifically for your vampiric steed and not a regular horse. Some of these elixirs are going to be things like stability, which will decrease your chance to get knocked off the horse. Another ability is called Eluding Leap, which leaves a decoy when using Shadow Leap. So not only are those elixirs that we just talked about good for you, but they're also good at upgrading your horse as well. Now this update also brings the ability to dominate more enemies. In previous builds, you were only able to dominate actual human-like creatures. So you couldn't dominate any animals or any of the mutants, but now you actually have the ability to dominate more. There are still a couple that you can't, like the really big creatures, but most of the other creatures and humans you are able to dominate. There's also a bunch of new castle decor. So just to name a few, things like new wallpapers, wall decorations, chairs, tables, and even some table settings, and garden decor. Now some of my personal favorites were the addition of the large and extra large growing plots. So this was really cool because they're massive. You can plant a tree in the center, and then there are additional growing plots on the outside that you can put just your regular seeds, so to have different types of flowers or whatever other plant you want. And it looked really nice. I also loved the dyeable wisteria, so you can hang this on your walls or in windows, and you're able to dye it colors to actually coordinate with the color scheme of your castle. We're also seeing the addition of the advanced Sawmill. This is pretty self-explanatory, but you're able to take the new materials out of the new Oakveil area and refine them in that new advanced Sawmill. It's also going to be a little faster than the regular Sawmill. So for all of you PvPers out there, you will be happy with the addition of the PvP Castle Arena and the ability to combat duel. So now a boss is going to unlock the ability to actually create your own castle arena. And then you will be able to go in and make the rules to make your own risk-free duels. So it can be 1v1, 2v2, 4v4, whatever rules you want to apply. And it's really nice because, like I said, it's risk-free. So you don't have to worry about losing all of your loot if somebody comes in and yoinks you. You guys can just go in there, play around, and just have all the PvP that you want with none of the consequences. And then finally, this update is Steamdeck Verified. So you are able to play this great game on the go with your Steam Deck.
So there you have it. Invaders of Oakveil, the newest update for V-Rising. We really weren't expecting to get this much content after the full release, so we were pleasantly surprised when we heard about this update. It brought a lot of quality of life changes that we really appreciate, as well as a bunch of fun new content. The 7 new bosses utilize some memorable and challenging new mechanics, to say the least. The Fusion Forge allows for some awesome build crafting potential alongside the addition of the new elixirs and weapon coatings. The possibilities are endless, and we are so excited to jump back in and play some more. Let us know what you think about V Rising. Have you tried the new update? Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.